Okay, welcome back to the channel, everybody. So this particular video, I'm going to actually have a work on my golf swing. I don't often do this. Obviously do a lot of filming YouTube videos, my day-to-day coaching here. I hit a few balls as I'm filming, but I don't really work on my golf swing and get into the nitty-gritty of it. So this particular video, I'm going to have a little look at it. I've noticed my shot pattern has changed probably over the last 12 months. Most of you have probably noticed this on my videos actually, in terms of I used to get that sort of pull drawy sort of shot as a bit of a miss, and now I'm hitting a little bit more of a neutral to a little bit of a left to right sort of shot. But I have noticed I've dropped off a little bit of speed and maybe sometimes that little bit accuracy. So I want to try and just have a little look at it, maybe look at some more of the path numbers and angle of attack and all those ideas, and maybe let you have a look at my delivery into that golf ball, and maybe we'll do a little bit of tweak and see if we can get some improvements. Okay, so just start off with, I'm just going to hit a few of my normal shots, my stock swing as we'll call it at the moment. My driver, so TSI 3, 9 degrees, set at A2 in the spec. Yeah, and there you go. That's probably my miss at the moment now, is that little bit of an overcut to the right of target. I struck that really quite nicely there. So we'll see 112 club head speed, 163, 11 launch, 28 spin. So they're not too bad of numbers, are they? Smashed pretty good, just got that little leaky one. So if we look on the right hand side, a little bit of a different view for you with the delivery of my golf club to the golf ball. So you can see my attack angle there, 0.2 positive. So I'm pretty much hitting that at a level part of my arc into that golf ball. You see the spin there, the dynamic loft I presented was 13.3 degrees. Always an interesting one there. I've got a 9-degree drive. This sometimes where a lot of golfers I find get confused with dynamic loft. So I've got 9 degrees static loft in my driver, but I'm presenting 13.3 degrees of loft there. I could probably do with maybe presenting a touch more possibly. Then look at club path. This is the one I want to really look at. See, minus 2.6 L. So L's left, so that's out to in 2.6 degrees. And that particular time, my club face angle was 0.1 degree left, so pretty much it's square. So then you can see my face to path relationship of my face to my path, 2.5 degrees R, which is right. So my face is open to the path. That's what's going to create that little cut spin up the right. But that has worked well in terms of eradicating that left miss that I used to have. So I tend to get a club face a little bit shut, a bit from the inside, and on probably sort of like opposite to those numbers in a way. And there you go, that's a really good first two shots. I haven't tried to do that. They are two probably typical shots for me that I do see creep in. I've just happened to hit them one after another. So again, let's look at those numbers. What's happened differently there from those two shots? So again, path 2.8 left, so that hasn't changed massively, has it? That's pretty consistent, those two shots. But you can see my face angle there, 4.5 closed. So I've gone from a 0 to a 4.5. So my club face is a little bit the issue. I did catch that a little bit toe. That isn't going to help with that shape either. So two-way miss happening there, isn't there? Okay, so what I want to try and just do now, I just want to try and work this path a little bit more consistent, because I'm too reliant there for me really at that point is club face control. If I get the club face in the right position, which with that path probably needs to be sort of like -1 at impact, then I would hit that nice little neutral little baby cut there, which I do sort of quite like to sort of see. But as you can see, maybe a little bit inconsistent with that club face delivery. So I'm going to try and just work that path a little bit more, what to me feels more from the inside now, which is quite different from where I used to be, because I used to be too far from the inside. So it sounds like I'm going back to what I used to do, but clearly I've just shifted and I've just evolved a little bit too much there for my liking. So I'm just going to try and move this path a little bit more to the right. So I'm just going to feel like a bit more from that inside. I feel like I'm moving the club up that right hand side that tiny bit more. And that's an absolute cracker. Definitely felt more from the inside there. Again, we know sometimes if you've gone through that process, maybe with a coach or gone through a golf lesson, you make a little change in the golf swing, it always feels more exaggerated to us as golfers than sometimes what actually has happened. So let's look at that. What's changed there? So attack 1.4 on the way up, so little bit shallower there. I hit it a little bit more on that way up, which is quite good. So you see my dynamic loft has just popped up a little bit at 14.6 degrees. Club path, see, still a -1.2, not as much, so I'll probably halve that, just over halved it. But to me, that felt like a much more from the inside. So how I've got used to this left swing now. That feels quite ingrained into my golf swing there now. Trying to change it feels like it's a bigger movement to sort of change, but I have changed that a little bit there. You see face angle just slightly closed, but it's matched my path there, hence why that ball's flown pretty straight. So I think the big key really there is and this will apply to a lot of golfers, is trying to get a relationship between your club face and your swing direction. If we can get a really nice sort of tight relationship between those two numbers, then we get much more of a straighter ball flight. Now obviously those two numbers, that relationship between the two, if we can get that more in relation then to your target, you're going to hit some very, very straight golf shots. So again, I'm just going to try and work this a little bit more from that inside. And again, that felt like that, but again, not bad at all. Yeah, so again there, see attack angle positive 1.6, path 0.2, so pretty much neutral there, and then a club face at 0. So again, my face to path very neutral there, and absolutely arrow straight on that actual ball flight itself. Okay, so what have I really done there to feel that change in the golf swing? So for me, it just feels like I get a little bit more I'm keeping the club a little bit more behind me for a touch longer on that downswing. But really, I've made quite a crucial setup change there. What I've done there is I've kept my ball position the same, but I've actually just let the driver head sit probably about 4 or 5 inches behind the golf ball, so it's not right up against the golf ball. So in my mind there, I feel like I'm hitting that ball later in the arc, okay? And that part of the arc there is going to be a little bit more on the way up, which has definitely changed. That attack angle has changed. I've not moved the ball further forward, I've not tilted further behind it. I've just literally, my club is a little bit more behind the golf ball. And for me, it gives me that split second longer, that extra 4 or 5 inches for that club face just to rotate as I'm working that club up that right hand side. Because think about it, if I'm swinging a little bit left, so -2, last thing I want to do is release the golf club or shut the face, because that's when I get that pull, which I hit earlier, wasn't it? So I'm going to hold it open a little bit, aren't I? So if I get from the inside and then hold it open, all of a sudden I've got a big push, block, cut, that horrible shot to the right. So I just feel like I've just got that club about 4 or 5 inches behind. Let's hit one more shot, and I'm just going to feel like it's a little bit more from the inside. Ooh, that's an absolute bomber. That's a really good launch on that 12 degree on that launch. Really good carry, low spin. The path just stuck a little bit left there, but again, the key importance there, you can see the ball flight on the screen was pretty straight, a smidge left of that white line, but I'll tell you what, that's fairway all day long, isn't it? But the key thing there is my face to path relationship is pretty much at 0. We're not going to see a lot of deviation and side tilt of that spin axis of that golf ball. Okay, let's just compare a couple of numbers there. It'd be quite interesting to have a little look at. Okay, so let's have a look. So first couple of shots, and I probably just stopped at those two because they're 2 of my weak shots I hit, is that cut and then also that big sort of pull. So you can see club head speed 112, ball speed 164. It's going to be fast on, the first one I struck really well. Second one I shut the face. The ball's always going to come off quicker when you shut the club face. So sometimes when you look at it against maybe those shots I've hit there, the first one maybe just a touch slow in the swing speed, just drop that ball speed. So probably quite similar, to be honest there. You see the launch at 11 degrees, spin 2-2, so that's pretty good, but you can see the difference of the two numbers. So cutty one spins up, pulley one kills a spin. So very, very inconsistent on that spin number. 278 on average there in terms of that carry number. You see I've got a lot of rollout with that second one, which I pulled, obviously dropped out quick out the sky, but a lot of roll on it because it came in with a lot flatter with no spin. But attack angle there you can see pretty much at 0. Okay, so then moving into that after that change. So as I say, just 4 or 5 inches behind the ball for me. That's a little change in that setup. Feels like I got more from that inside, which I sort of did, and I did change that. A couple still left, but more neutral for me. And you can see how it's changed that attack angle. So then I was positive 1.4, 1.6, 1.2. So then also that allows me to launch it. I present a little bit more loft, launch it at just under 13, which is a really good launch for me. I like to launch it around that sort of number. I always tend to get a bit low on my launch. So you can see a good couple of degrees difference of that launch there. Slightly on that lower spin, so high launch, lower spin. We've heard that terminology before in terms of creating more distance on your golf shots. It's also then 284 carry against that 278, but a little bit more neutral for me. Let's have a look at dispersion. And there we go. And I appreciate I've only hit a handful of, 2 shots the first time, but I just wanted to obviously see that. 3 shots with the second one, see how much more tighter my dispersion is. So that face to path relationship got tighter, swing direction got a little bit more neutral. So when you make those two key changes there, you are going to hit more straighter golf shots. Okay, so there we go. There's a little insight into my swing. Don't often sort of do those sort of things, and I don't really work on my golf swing. It's just I was just hitting some shots before, and I just noticed, oh, my path's just sneaking a little bit left there. So I thought, let's turn the camera on. Let's sort of go through really what I was just wanting to sort of do sort of live in a way. You know, I haven't sort of preempted this, just sort of making that little bit of that change, how it sort of feels to me. But again, work with your coach, post your comments down below, let me know your thoughts. Are you making a swing change in the moment? How does it feel to you? Does it feel like really off the wall, different? Does it feel more different than what maybe you see the actual movement change, particularly on a sort of launch monitor? It's always, I think it's always the feel's always bigger than what you are actually making the actual movement there in terms of the change. So it's that feel versus real, isn't it? Okay, appreciate watching the video as always. Hopefully you found it useful. If you have, again, comment down below, let me know, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.